Hey everybody, welcome back to Bibles on a Budget. Today we are taking a look at a really interesting, simple King James Bible. This is from the folks at Scandinavia, which when I went to their website, which you can actually find here on the back of the Bible right here, sph.as, they are actually a Christian publishing company in Scandinavia, founded and headquarters, it seemed, in Copenhagen. And it's interesting because when I went onto their website, actually, before I started shooting this, I couldn't find this Bible anywhere. I don't know why it's not on their website. This was purchased at my local Ollie's here in town. And interesting, there's a lot of these really simple, no thrills, obviously, King James Bibles out there, because King James is one of the most widely available public domain translations that we have here in the States. And so I was like, this is interesting. This is a new look to a box and such. And so I was like, I'll pick it up and I'll check it out. So without further ado, on the front, we can actually see what the features are of this Bible. So it is a large print, which is awesome. So if you love the King James, if you're King James preferred, or if you are one of those people that just can't touch any other Bibles, here you go. Great text size. It's the full King James version. It is double columns. It has a PU leather cover. So this is like a fake leather. It doesn't mean it smells. It just means it's fake leather. And it has some reader's help sections in the back, which are really cool. I'll show you that in a second. And then it has a tracking chart. This allows you to track your reading. So you can mark off the different chapters and different books that you are done reading. It comes with a satin ribbon marker, which right there, it's a kind of a silverish color. Gilded page edges and then rounded corners. And you actually get a sneak peek right here, because this is just a slip cover. So there's the spine. It is stamped, which is really nice. It's embossed and stamped with some silver foil. So there's a cross, Holy Bible, King James large print. And then right there is the logo for Scandinavia. And then on the back, you get a picture of the Bible, and then again, the name. Some information about the company here. It's in Copenhagen, Denmark. Super cool. And then here's some information about the King James. So if you want to check that out, if you're unfamiliar, here's a little blurb about it. So there you go. And then, and sorry about that snoot, guys. I do have some allergies. But here is the gilding, and we're going to look at that a little more now as I try to get this slip case off here. It off to the side. I'm not going to do a Tim Wildsmith box throw there, but here's the Bible itself. So what's really cool about this is I really like the color of this. So it's a burgundy fake leather with silver gilding stuff here, like silver embossed on the front, and again on the side. Nothing on the back. It does have some perimeter stitching, which is super cool. And then again, like I said, there is the silver gilding, which is super nice, and it does have gray head and tail bands. And because this is just one of those Bibles that sometimes you just get things, you get little nicks, so there's little dings. It might be hard to see with my lighting. There's a little ding right there, a little discoloration, and then also some problems there with the stitching, but that is to be expected sometimes with these mass-produced Bibles. So without further ado, let us take a look at the inside of this Bible here. So opening it up, you do get this really cool in-sheet design here. So I really like it. It's like this gray waves kind of wind look. I really like that. And then when you turn over another page, you get copyright page, which it's interesting. I don't know what the copyright, what is the status of the copyright over in Denmark, but this is it's free over here technically, right? It's public domain. So that means that anybody can print a King James Bible. And here's something that's also really interesting that I just noticed. This is my second or maybe even I think it's my second time going through this Bible and looking at it. You look right here, the text is actually designed and typesetted by 2K Denmark, which they work with all kinds of big Bible publishers. So it's really cool to see that they worked with this publisher as well. This is not a new publisher by any means. This publisher was actually started back in the 70s in Denmark, but this is the first time I've ever heard of them. So here's the intro page again, Holy Bible, King James Version. Go with that, it's really cool. And just like with really any Bible, if I can get this open here, these pages are really thin. I don't know why my hands are shaking. But here's the contents. So you do get the Old Testament, New Testament, and then down here it tells you what the help sections, well-known stories, and tracking chart are. And here is the Old Testament. And beyond the Old Testament, you do get the first book of Moses, which is Genesis. And this is verse by verse, double column, bold chapter numbers, little verse numbers here. This is a very, I don't know if this is like a unique font or anything, but this is like a very classic looking font. This is a very King James-y font, in my opinion. It's very King James-y. So here we go, again, double columns. If we go to something like the Psalms, for instance, Psalms should also be, if I can get there, Psalms should also be in double column. Yep. But instead, like, since most of these Psalms are short, you will get multiple Psalms on one page and then different Psalms in the different columns. So like you got a whole thing over here with Psalms 136, but then you got Psalms 137, 138, 139 in the double column, which is super cool. Now, if we go to the New Testament, you'll see that this Bible is just a plain old black letter King James. Now, a lot of people like the red letters, some don't. They prefer not to have anybody point out what the words of Christ are. Hey, I get it. Respect to you on any side of that. But again, same setup as the Old Testament, double columns, bold chapter numbers, and the little verse numbers, and then you get the page numbers up here, and then yeah, pretty nice. So now, without further ado, let's go to the back, and I'll show you something really cool here, and that is the help section. So I just gotta get past Revelation here. So here's the help section. So what's cool about this is that it basically, if you've seen those promise books, I have one of those around here somewhere in the New King James. But basically, it'll give you a topic. It says God's promises when you are afraid, anxious, confused, dejected, depressed, and so on and so forth. And then it'll give you references to verses that speak to these topics. Or what does the Bible say about this thing? Or let's see what another one is. We have well-known stories over here, which talks about the beginning, story of the patriarchs, deliverance from Egypt, and so on and so forth, right? Like you get the early church and all that stuff. So after that, you get a few extra little pages there, and then printed on this really interesting, I don't know if it's showing up through my camera with the light, but these pages, these are cardstock. Not sure why they print it on cardstock, but this is cardstock. These are the abbreviations for the books. And then here's the tracking chart. And this cardstock, for some reason, is kind of like this lavender color. I don't know why. On my camera, it looks white, but to my eyes, it looks lavender. So it's really, really interesting. But if you look closely, you'll see the different books and you'll see the different chapters. And so that's where you can actually mark off which chapters you read. So as you go through this Bible, you can come back here and be like, oh, I read Genesis 1, 2, 3, 4, and I can mark those off, and so on and so forth. And yeah, this is actually the end sheet, so there's nothing further than that. Okay, so what do I think about this little Bible? I really like this little Bible. You know, this Bible reminds me of a really like fancy pew Bible. Now, this Bible typically retails for $30. I got it for 13 at Ollie's, which I think that was a great price. But if you are someone who loves the King James, whether you are King James, like you're the kind of person that just only does King James, don't care about the other versions, this is a great little carry Bible if you have a backpack or something. If you're somebody who also just appreciates the King James and you like to read it from time to time and you like to have one with you, great size. The pages for me they're thin and they do ghost, but from my eyes, it looks like everything is line matched, which is fabulous, which is great because then that helps cut on the ghosting. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this Bible on a Budget review. And remember, folks, the truth does not have to be expensive. See you in the next one.